Hello and welcome to the show. This is Analytic Energy Agency, and my name is Alexey Presnov. I'm glad to welcome all of you on our YouTube channel. And today I'm broadcasting from Croatia. I'm on the Adriatic shore, actually on vacation. But we have decided to issue this video because actually there are things are happening in the world, and especially in the industries which we observe normally, the relation between Russia and Kazakhstan. Because just a few days ago, it was announced that finally Kazakhstan has determined who is going to build its first nuclear power plant. And it was Russia. It was Russian Rosatom, uh, despite the fact that all observers and all, these speakers, they have predicted that it would be a Chinese company. It's a so-called CNC. It's China Nuclear National Corporation. But the final choice was made, and again, Russia won in this. This race, and the closest contender, this Chinese corporation, was announced like a second one. And again, Kazakhstanians, they are very multi-vectoring and all this kind of things. It's this Eastern diplomacy, and they said that Russia is a leading company, Rosatom is a leading company in this consortium. It's not that it's just we give the project to Russians, but we give them the leading role in the consortium of the companies. But of course, it's not the case, and I commented that already in our Russian videos. We actually issued two of them over the last 2 days or 3 days, and I can tell you that it was great response in terms of its very many viewers, and also there's some kind of discussion there in comments. And what I saw there is that first of all, it's kind of surprisingly to me, it was attitude of Kazakhstanians that they didn't like the choice. They wanted China to be the winner, and also it were some statements like, for instance, Russia is kind of backward company. It's Rosatom and very obsolete technology, and it didn't have a lot of enough money to build that, and it needs to communicate and to apply to someone else, like to buy turbines and that kind of things. Basically, as usual, those experts, so-called experts from the sofa, we call them like that in Russian, they are normally not very literate in that kind of things. And they're not actual experts, but nevertheless, the general attitude and general background of this deal, it shows that Kazakhstanians, they are not contented with this choice of the government. And again, just yesterday, Xi Jinping, leader of Chinese state, he came to Kazakhstan, to Astana, and it was a meeting of China plus five Central Asian nations, and they have discussed all the kind of cooperation in the region, and all this trade and project and so on. And it was announced there that the second power plant, which is going to be built in Kazakhstan, will be given to Chinese CNC, this Chinese Nuclear National Corporation. Two more, contenders like Korean company and EDF, Electricité de France, they were just also specified as quite good company, and but so far, nevertheless, they were not chosen as those the suppliers of this kind of solutions. So about Rosatom. Rosatom is going to build two block stations. It's so-called VVER in Russian abbreviation. It's going to be like in English. It's a water energy reactor. So it's actually two counters there. One is actual counter of where steam is produced from the water, and it's connected directly to the to the island, to the nuclear island. And the second one is external counter. It's just for cooling the whole process. And those reactors, they are very popular, very stable. They are built since 70s. And this is, of course, the kind of modernization. It's a 3+ so-called on safety levels. It's a 3+ model of the reactor, and they are quite referential because they were already in use in Russia. It's like 4 or 5 reactors were built, and they were commissioned, and they are already under operation. Also, 4 reactors are being built in Turkey. Some reactors of same design is built for Bangladesh, also in Paksh in Hungary. They are going to build. So it's very well-established technology, and very safe, and very advanced, I would say. And of course, Russia and Rosatom, it's the biggest corporation, and in terms of construction of nuclear power plants right now, because in let's say after 2011, when Fukushima happened, many countries they just abandoned those technologies, and it was kind of stagnation in the industry, but not in Russia. And Russia was was continuing to develop that kind of technologies, and now it's number one. You cannot say anything about that. Of course, China is also very advanced now, and they are building a lot of reactors in the country. It's about like 40 or 50 right now. But if we talk about export of this technology, they just work with only Pakistan, and also they're going to build something in Argentina. But so far, they don't have much experience of export and all these international projects like that. That is that's why actually I think Kazakhstan have chosen them, because it seems that Russia is more reliable in that terms, in terms of its experience. But the thing is, as I said, it's a quite negative attitude among the public and the white public, and among also this community, energy community. They were a bit surprised. They wanted China. And also, there are some rumors that Russia would be the owner of the power station, and it would so the reactors belong to them, and it will be this model which is they are going to implement in Turkey, like BOO, build, own, operate, until money are recouped, the funds are recouped. And then they just transfer the station to the country, but not the case here. It was announced by the Ministry of Energy and by this new born nuclear agency of Kazakhstan. They said that the station will belong completely to Kazakhstan, and Russia just is giving arranging this kind of preferential loan, a state loan on some preferential terms for Kazakhstan. and then Kazakhstan will pay for all those services and all the constructions to Rosatom. And Rosatom, again, it will be this EPC contractor. Actually, it's not consortium, but the Kazakhstanis, they prefer to call it consortium. It's kind of political, geopolitical thing. So of course, it's this project itself. It's very geopolitical in terms of if we talk about is if it's uh, profitable for Russia right now to and interesting for Russia to build this power station, financing that first, and then to build to bear all the obligations, and also to teach the personnel and the kind of because all that is in the contract as far as I understand. Right now, Russia, as we many times said already, it's just exporting electricity from Russia to Kazakhstan because Kazakhstan has deficit, especially it has deficit in capacity. It's not so much in energy itself because if we just look per year, they're just missing like about 2-3% maximum because they consume about 117 billion of kilowatt hour, and they they buy from Russia. It's about 3 or 4 billion kilowatt hours, so it's less than even 2%. But still, if we look at the capacity factor, it's a problem there because in the winter time, especially in the winter season, every working the lack of capacity for up to 2 gigawatts of capacity in the evening hours, and that is supplied from Russia. Sometimes the prices are high, and I also explained that in one of our video in English also. Because the problem is that they just coincide with this peak hours in Russia, and in Russia, the capacity is being charged at the peak hours when there's maximum of consumption in this specific region and at a specific day, and so when they coincide with that, so the price go very high, and Kazakhstanians, they always complain about that because they say Russia sells very expensive, but it's not the case because in general, if you just compare the prices evenly on all hours, the prices of electricity in Russia is cheaper now than in Kazakhstan. But just recently, Kazakhstanians they devaluate their tenge against ruble substantially, so now it's about even. But just a few, like 2-3 months ago, it was considerably, prices in Kazakhstan was considerably high. That's the thing that, and it seems that, as I said, it's a more geopolitical issue and more geopolitical solution. But of course, everything is geopolitical right now. You can see what is happening in the world. We can see how this war between Israel and Iran is being waged right in front of our eyes. And also, if we just look at some picture as a whole, you can see that same events they are presented differently because, for instance, Israel felt a threat from Iran and can start the war. But the same situation, just mirrored situation when Russia felt the threat from Ukraine, it's aggression, and so it's the world is went mad to my understanding. It's but of course, it's geopolitical because Russia wants to stay, afloat in Kazakhstan in terms of economics and political influence, and it's quite opposite and it's quite natural. Same if we look at China. China, as I said, has completed this big meeting with all those leaders of Central Asia, and also they have a lot of plans because in general, Central Asia is a growing region. It's very fast because population grows very fast there, and economies also they grow. There is some demand, and it's a transition between China and Europe, between China and Russia. So it's very strategically important region. So all the countries want to be there and want to to have their interests there and to protect their interests. And of course, this kind of contract is one of that kind of steps. We will see what will happen, but finally, so this became clear who is going to build, and now the thing is for Kazakhstan is how to adjust that kind of big projects to their very awkward, very obsolete and complicated and cumbersome construction of their market, energy market, because they just have this central or single buyer which buys all the electricity from all producers and then spread it even across the country, mitigating all the price signals. It's there is nothing, they just solidify the retail market completely. Because, for instance, those distribution companies networks, they have to be to buy out all the electricity from renewables at the retail level, at their consumers behind the meter. Also, they have to buy all those productions of electricity from smaller hydropower station, which could be, they could be kind of agents in the retail market and produce some signals, because sometimes, the prices on this hourly prices at the wholesale level at single buyer are high. And so they could be, this P2P so-called distribution energy market, so DER, so to develop that kind of things, but it's very difficult. If we look at this situation about how those big plants operate, like nuclear power plant, which they are going to have safely to say it's going to be by 2035, I guess. Again, they normally what they do, they just give every power station individual tariff or rate, and it means that all these advantages of nuclear power plants, because they have lower operational cost and they have very high capacity factor, and in a normal marginal market they obtain a lot of extra money, like infra marginal rent, so called. But it's not the case in Kazakhstan, because they will, if nothing happens, if nothing changes, what happens is that they will just get same, like a smaller tariff, very low one rate, individual one, and all this recoup of the capital, all of the investments will be returned through the capacity market. So capacity will cost very high price, and so kind of will be kind of tax on everyone's. And when they talk about the second power station, the third one, it means it's kind of tax on all consumers. It will be difficult to charge, and will be, I think, it will be the most problem. Current negotiations between Russia and Kazakhstan, between Rosatom and Ministry of Energy, what the tariff of what the price of the capacity should be, because in the absence of normal market, marginal market, of course, the capacity price should be high. Therefore, we told them about that. We told them that they need to, to pull together all their strength and start developing normal, efficient, solid energy market in the country based on the modern models, and we are ready to help them with that. Let's see what's going to be the response now. That's what I wanted to explain to you, and let's see what will happen soon. It will be more clear, and I think within the next few weeks, what the picture is and how they're going to proceed further on. Thank you for watching, and as I said before, we are on the break until the, I think, end of July at least, and then after that we will see, and we will continue our production in English for you, because actually I came out today with this video because I got some requests in my personal email to explain what is going on between Russia and Kazakhstan, because they saw that there are some videos in Russian, which collected a lot of response and a lot of views and comments and so on. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.